Hey there. How's everybody doing? It's Nathan with Council of LP, Dragon Fart Dust, and BP Die. So, before BP Die to Dara, and we farted to the moon with Dragon Fart Dust, I found an opportunity here on a video that me and Johnny have wanted to do for a while. And that is completely creating a V3 liquidity pool for the first time on a token that is not a tax token and can accept the creation of the V3 pool. And only has the V2 running right now. So there's a lot of criteria that you want to look at before you do that. One being the volume of the token that you're looking at, or in this case, it's going to be potential volume that's coming. So if you have a V2 token on Ethereum or Base or anything, you really want to see something that is moving and shaking right before you're going to open up the V3 pool. And you have to have your plan in place first with what you want to do with that liquidity. So the main thing that you're going to need to do is open up the entire V3 pool. So that's going to have to be a full range pool. Now, if your intention is to single side your tokens on the V3, then you're going to want to open up a very small V3. So you can open up the V3 with $1 if you want it. And as soon as that thing is set, the first transaction comes in over from the V2 volume, then you're set. You have the V3 pool going forever until you would pull it. And then you can set concentrated liquidity ranges within that pool, because it's already been initiated, it's synced with the V2, and you're good to go. So let me pull this up here. We have the YEE token. So let me get over here and do a little bit of changing around here. So YEE is an interesting story. So as you can see here, this thing is over 2 years old, 2 years and 14 days, which is right around the time when Pepe launched. And apparently this token had the contract ready to go. They chose a character from within the Matt Fury universe, and they were going to go ahead and launch YEE. But Pepe beat them to the punch. So Pepe came out, went parabolic, right? And it's probably one of the best known meme coins out there in crypto, especially on Ethereum. So YEE apparently launched about 2 weeks after Pepe did. And as you can see, it does not have the holder count that Pepe does, but it does have an interesting chart. So I like what's going on here because you don't have that big pump and then dump and then flat, right? You have something that has recently this year has kind of started this trajectory of going these ups and downs and slightly up and to the right. So this to me looked like a good time to get into the token. And then I noticed that when I search the contract, so you can go and take the YEE contract, we can go ahead and search it here. You can see that there's only a V2. So there is no V3. So this thing has 89K in 24-hour volume. You know, it's not that great, but it's good for a token that doesn't seem to be that well known. It's in the Matt Fury universe. We're on the cusp of potentially, hopefully, alt season coming and things starting to go parabolic for a time, right? So something like this sitting at a 531 market cap could do really, really well. And in this case, what I want to do, I do not want to single side. I want to completely set up my tokens in the V3 1% pool. So here's what we're going to do. So the first thing I want to do is find out exactly how much 1 ETH will buy you in this token. So what we're going to do here is go to the 3 dots in the upper right. We're going to invert the pair to put it on ETH as the main pairing. And we're going to take a look. It is 4.63 million YEE per 1 ETH. Okay, that's an important number to remember, because when you initiate the V3 pool, you are telling it what the current price is. So when you put your tokens into the LP, you aren't having something that's way higher and is going to snap down right to the current price and therefore losing money on that, right? Or way below and snapping up to the price. There's times when that might be beneficial, but I think you're still probably going to lose out in the long run. You want something to initiate as close as you can to the current price. Now, there's not a lot of action happening on this token. If you were trying to do this on something that was going nuts in volume, right? That would be really hard to initiate, because you wouldn't get it to snap to the price that easily. And if it's going up and down, up and down, up and down nonstop, and volume's coming in every minute there's a transaction, that's going to be really hard. And your LP might fail, in the actual transaction might fail, and you might have to do it again. And that goes back to gas costs next. So that's another point. Right now, GWEI is under 1, so perfect time. We can start this LP likely for pennies, hopefully up to a couple dollars maybe in ETH. So let's do it. Okay, so we've confirmed 4.63 million is the price of what 1 ETH gets you, right? And we see that this is a V2 that has no V3 initiated yet. So let's get to it. Let me take this off. Hello. Yeah. And let's get the other one up. Let's see how to do this. I'm going to stop that and open up another screen here. Go to the liquidity. Share that. All right, here we are. Let's confirm that that is up there. There we go. So I went to the Uniswap, the pool, not the trade portion, the pool. So we see a new position here. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is look here, V4. We are not starting a V4. We're starting a V3 position. And I am going to put the first token as YEE. All right. I'm going to put the second token as Ethereum. Okay, so we got the YEE ETH pair for the V3 1% pool. Okay, so another thing that you want to look at here, it's set, it defaulted to 0.3. We don't want to do 0.3%. If this was a 1% pool that was already open and it was doing millions and millions in daily volume, and the liquidity was pretty darn close to the volume, you're gonna be putting your tokens into a pool that is highly diluted. That's when you can think about initiating the 0.3 pool and trying to pull over some of that volume into the 0.3. There are times for that. No, not now. So I just chose the 1% pool. So we got V3, YEE on the left, ETH on the right, 1%, and we're gonna hit continue. Now we're going to toggle this over to ETH. That's the first thing I'm going to do, because I don't want to see how much ETH 1 YEE token gets you. We want to see how much YEE 1 ETH gets you. So there you go. Now this is handy, because this is already there were times when I've done this in the past when it did not show what this is. I think this token is mature enough that there's enough data for it to pull from, or Uniswap has updated how they're pulling in this information. But we can see 4.6 million YEE per 1 ETH. And let me just go back and confirm. Yes, 4.63. So we're right about there. And I don't think it'll let you actually do that. Let's see if it'll do that. It'll probably. All right. Let's try it. Let's do the exact amount, 4.63 million. That's great. It's saying that the market price is 4.65. I'm not going to do that. So we'll see how this turns out. Your safest bet is probably using what they suggest, but for some reason I think that's either running behind or it is. No, it should be good. Okay. Now, this is a full range pool that I'm opening, so 0 to infinity, right? I'm not going to do a custom range. A custom range will be done after I've initiated this pool, okay? And now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hit max on my tokens, and it should equal out that amount in tokens in Ethereum, right? So it's pretty darn close. It's a 50-50 split. It's saying I have insufficient ETH balance. Why would that be? All right, no worries. We're going to make that, we're going to make this work. So let's try. Okay. I wanted to get that closer to 250. I wanted an even 250, 250. So I have 500 even in there. So let's try 6. We're getting there. Let's try 7. And if not, there you go. Looking good. Okay. So I'll have a little bit left over. I can add that. You can add that in later. But let's try this out and see what happens. Okay. I'm going to hit review. I'm going to hit create. I'm going to approve it in my wallet. Once it decides to, it's really thinking hard about this one. Well, first I have to approve it, or I have to set the spending cap. So I'm going to confirm this. 27 cents in ETH, not bad. Confirm. Alrighty, so we are in the process, waiting for this transaction to approve. Let's see what we got. It's working. It's pending. I think I'm gonna have to confirm one more time. That was just the approval. So I have fully approved. We're gonna wait for the pop-up to come again. It was confirmed. There we go. It's coming. It's gonna happen. All right, it is going to cost. So remember, this is not just setting a range, within a pool that's already started. So when you're actually creating a whole new pool, it's going to be a bit more expensive. So what we're hoping is that the fees that we pull in over time, and I intend to keep this pool open for a long time. Others are probably going to start adding to it once they see that it's open. It could get diluted, but hopefully by that time the price rises up and my full range is increased enough where I'm still getting a large enough share of the total volume that's coming in and that 1% fee, right, payback. So it is actually going to cost me 20 bucks to initiate this pool. Now, imagine, this is GWEI under 1. Imagine if GWEI was 5, 10, 20, 50, right? It would be insanely expensive to initiate a pool. So that's why you need to look for favorable conditions to do something like this. I don't think I'm going to get any lower than this. It dropped down to about 18 bucks. So 19 bucks. It's moving all over the place. So I'm going to hit this before it goes any higher and potentially goes over 20 bucks. So I'm going to confirm it. And there we go. And wait for it to verify. And then, so after this, once this goes through, we should be actually able to see that the pool is created. We're gonna have to wait for some volume to come through on the token itself to see what will actually be pulled over. So my reason for doing $250 in YEE and $250 in ETH is I want to give myself a shot at pulling over some of the volume. So if you don't have enough liquidity, right, it's gonna give you Uniswap is going to route to the V3 what it on a buy or a sell, right? It's going to try and keep the prices between the V3 and the V2 synced together. So imagine something that has 80,000 in liquidity versus something that has 500 in liquidity. It's going to take a lot less to move that chart. So a $100 buy might come through on the V2, and it might split off $5 of that into the V3, right? Because that's what it's going to take to sync the two pools. There might be times when the pools get out of sync and it's going to await for a transaction to come through that will snap them to either a buy or a sell. So here's the thing. If you start that pool and you choose an ETH, you choose a YEE, in this case, YEE per ETH token amount, when we were setting that, the initial price, and you set it way higher, say you put it at like 6 million YEE per ETH, right? That would mean that the price is way higher. The first thing you're going to see is a sell, right? And you're going to lose money on that. You're going to see a sell come in to bring it down to the price. If you're putting it below, first thing you're going to see is a buy to snap it up to the price. So there is benefit in times, especially if something had a ton of volume coming through and you couldn't get it to, you got that transaction through, you created the pool, right? You're going to want it to be less. You're going to want to do a higher token amount per ETH to make a buy come in first in order to snap that into place. So let's check out the pool here. I don't think anything has come through yet, right? So we see our $500 in liquidity. I don't have any fees earned because no transactions have come through on this. But let's go back to remove this, get that out of there. And let me present back to Dex Screener. Share that. Now, a sell did come through in that time. That was before we created it. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. 4.62. Now I already forget what the price was. I said 8 million. That was not correct. But here we are. So the price really didn't move that much. The first thing I'm likely going to see is a sell on it when it does come through, unless this goes back up to the price level and I see a very small buy. So either way, any other volume that comes through on this now, at some point, it's going to snap the V3 into price parity with the V2. So I'm going to take the contract again. I'm going to put it in the search, and I don't know if it's going to show up yet, but it might. Let's see here. Give it to me. Give it to me. There we go. Oh, very interesting. So it still hasn't shown the V3 pool creation yet, but it is there. It'll likely show up, the way Deck Screener works, it'll likely show up once there's some volume in it. I could hop over to Deck's tools because they tend to be able to show pools before any volume is in there. It'll just show like a flat line, no data, or it'll show like the ghost image on there and show no data here, but it's there. So I'll do that after this, but I'll check it out. And I'll be updating on this on live streams and tracking progress here. So let's freaking go. We created our V3 1% pool. We are awaiting volume to come through to get the prices to parity with each other and actually get that V3 on the map. So let's see what happens. I appreciate you tuning in. Of course, you can always find me in the Council of LP chat as Zenathan. You can find me in the BPDI chat. You can find me in the Dragon Fart Dust chat. There's a lot of different ones, especially House of Warlords as well. You can find me at me if you have a question about it. It's most appropriate for the Council of LP, but you can find me, ask me questions about it. If you think you found something that you think is worthy of starting the V3 on, V2, we can work that out with you and we can help you every step of the way. So I hope this video was informative and I hope it makes sense. So thank you for joining me and have a good rest of your day.